Hey everyone, and welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Today we're doing a video I have always wanted to do. I have always been obsessed with watching the tier ranking lists on YouTube. I just think it's fascinating. I love to hear people's opinions, especially when they're kind of professionals in their particular space, whatever it might be. I absolutely love that. So today I'm going to be ranking basically my favorite detailing brands to my least favorite detailing brands. We're going to go through all of these, talk about products that I actually use in my detailing business, some that I might use a lot of the products from a certain brand, some that I might use just a couple, and some that I completely avoid. So welcome back to the channel. Let's jump into it. All right guys, well this is going to be a pretty straightforward video. We're going to go through a bunch of different well-known brands in the detailing space and I'm going to rank them. And again, it's not here to hurt anybody's feelings, not here to make anybody look good. These are products that I actually spend my own money on to use in my professional detailing business. And through my 12 plus years of experience in the detailing industry, these are my thoughts on these brands. Now we're going to rank these based on tiers. So S tier is exceptional, basically meaning their entire product lineup is near perfection and I wouldn't change a single thing. A tier is amazing, which means that like 95% of the products are just phenomenal, but there's a few here and there which I think could be improved or that aren't quite up to my standards. B tier is overall a good line, something that is easily approachable. Pretty much all of their products you can get in their line are good, but there might be better alternatives out there. But there's nothing that really holds that line back. It's just overall a good brand. C, I'm going to just put as average, something that, you know, I would say is below good. It's just okay. You know, you might have some decent products here and there, but it's not something I'd really ever recommend. Now this can kind of be conflated between B and C here, being good to average. I just think average is kind of like something I'm probably not going to use in the shop, but like maybe some DIY enthusiasts might like it. D tier is just meh. Like I've looked at their product line, nothing's really interesting. Maybe they have one or two standout products to me, but everything else I'm just kind of like, there's better stuff out there. F tier is just run away and just don't look back. And you'll see a few of these in this particular list. And then lastly, haven't tried. Guys, I'm a professional detailer. I've got my stuff that I like. If there's something I'm looking for to be better, if I hear about something's better, if I hear comments from you guys that something's better than I'm using, sure, I might give it a try, but that doesn't mean I'm going to try the entire product line. I'm busy here at the shop. I work 7 days a week. I try to produce between 2 to 3 videos here for you guys on YouTube. I'm busy, so testing things, yeah, it gets a little challenging and tricky. So we're just gonna go through this. We're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna tell you guys what I think, brutally honest, about each and every one of these brands. All right, starting off with Sonax. Now, Sonax is a product line actually that when I got started 12 years ago, I started using their wheel cleaner. I think was probably the first product I was ever introduced to the brand by. And honestly, a good product. I wouldn't say, you know, at least 12 years later now that they have done anything that blows me out of the water. There's a few notable products they have. Their Alcantara or micro suede cleaner is something I've used for a while. I've since replaced it with some other products we'll talk about a little bit later on. You know, Sonax Perfect Finish is an interesting one. It's a polish that I see a lot of people use. I am still in the camp and I believe that there's a lot of fillers in it. I would say that is kind of their standout product to me right now, because if you get caught in like a really tough position of working on super soft, like, you know, piano black type paint here, that is something that can really get you out of like a serious issue and hazing issue. But I do still feel like there are fillers there, especially after you do a couple wipe downs of IPA or a panel prep spray, you see all that haze come back. So I think it's a good product line overall. I think though, I'm probably going to put Sonax in average. I think there's a lot better products out there that are, you know, they work a little bit better, a little bit more efficient, more dilutable, and just in general, I kind of think Sonax is pretty average. Moving on now to Gyeon. Now Gyeon's a really interesting brand because I technically do still hold my accreditation for their pro level coatings. So I got into Gyeon ceramic coatings because actually I was using a lot of Gtechniq stuff for a while and just started to not love their coatings so much and wanted to try, you know, something that was comparable to them and a pretty easy coating to install. And I was really intrigued by Gyeonmo's Evo. I formed a relationship with Gyeon and got into their accreditation program to install, you know, things like Infinite Base Type 1 and Top Coat Type 2 is what I was using. And I think their coatings are great. They're polyxylazane based. They work very differently. One of their product highlights for me is their Leather Shield Evo. So it's a ceramic coating that we use on a lot of Teslas, Rivians with like literally white seats. I don't think there's a better product out there for that. Another standout product from them, gosh, Gyeon Wet Coat. I absolutely love that product, how you can just spray it on literally anything from paint to glass to, you know, plastic grills to wheels, whatever it is, and put a short amount of protection on there. I just think it's an absolutely phenomenal product. I would say though, kind of the rest of their line for me blends into just kind of okay. I mean, a lot of their products you use are good. I just don't think like they are, you know, that insanely good. But I do think because they have some of those standout products, I think I'm kind of in between B and A. I'm gonna probably put, yeah, let's put Gyeon at good. I think there's a lot of products that they make that are just meh. Like Gyeon Bathe is meh. And yeah, I think I'm good with good there. Moving on to Adams Polishes now. This is a really interesting brand that I kind of grew up with in the detailing space, and I actually got to know the previous owner and founder, Adam Patali. I'm good friends with Adam now, and he really helped me out in my detailing business, giving me advice. And you know, the cool thing about Adams is they are literally 45 minutes away from my shop here in Windsor, Colorado. The thing that Adams has been though, is there's been a lot of change, right? So it's now, you know, a bigger, more like a corporate style company, all about profits. And I've seen a big switch, not necessarily in their chemicals. I do think their chemicals across the line are very, very good. I would say Adams is one of the most approachable line, but this company has gone from, Adams' big thing was sourcing everything in the USA, making sure it's made in the USA, being very proud of that. Now you start to see a lot of cheaper things come in, blow dryers. I mean, like the blow car dryer that I have sitting right over here next to me. Adams makes a competitor to that that's Chinese, and like some of their stuff has become really cheap, I guess would be the best way to say. And the biggest problem I have with Adams is they change their chemicals way too freaking much. So there's a product I love, I get used to it, I might buy a gallon of it, might buy a 5-gallon container of it. Next time I go to purchase it, they've changed it. It doesn't work the same, and I don't really like it. So for that, I'm going to put Adams in the good category, right next to Gyeon there. And I also am going to do this basically when they go in the category, kind of rank them in between there as well. So I would definitely put Adams below Gyeon, but still a great approachable product line. Now the next one here, Koch Chemie, I would say arguably one of the least approachable product lines, and it is still confusing to this day, a lot of their products, what exactly they do, because I don't strictly say it just looking at them. You look at something like MZR, then you've got Green Star, you've got Polestar, you've got Multistar, you've got Ulex. I mean, there are so many different products you look at there. You look at their entire line, and it's a bit overwhelming for even professionals like myself. But I will say this is one of the product lines that almost every single product you get from them works great. Most of their products I think are actually very affordable. Not all of them are super great on the price point, but I would say just in general, 95% of their products I'm blown away with. Now there are a few products here that I am underwhelmed by, or that I do think are too expensive. One of the biggest ones, which I still can't understand how people love so much, is GSF, Gentle Snow Foam. Gentle Snow Foam to me is one of the most overhyped products in the detailing industry. Every single time I use it, I am just completely and absolutely underwhelmed. It is just not a product I love, and I think there are way better pH neutral soaps out there. And in fact, in their soap line, I think they really lack a lot of refinement, and just, I always think there's better stuff out there. I've used reactivation shampoo, you know, pH of 1, very acidic. I like it. I kind of prefer something like CarPro D-Scale. You move to active foam. I haven't been blown away with it. And then you also get into the thing with Koch Chemie where some of their products you can buy in a 1 liter, some of them you have to buy in a 5 liter. It's just hard and approachable. But again, overall, Koch Chemie, guys, is going to go into the amazing category because I probably use the most amount of Koch Chemie products here, and also want to give a huge notable mention to Microcut by Koch Chemie. That is one of those products 10 times better than Sonax Perfect Finish that will refine out. It is one of the best polishes on the planet and will get you out of some really tricky situations. So Koch Chemie goes in A tier, amazing. Next, moving on to the rag company. Well, I am almost exclusively a rag company user here for basically all of my towels, from drying towels to coating application towels to glass cleaning towels, polish removal towels. I absolutely love the rag company. Now, they are not perfect, and I will tell you that because I absolutely despise their coating applicators. They need to totally revamp their coating applicators, but in general, every single towel that I use from them, I feel like just is perfectly optimized for what I want. And they also have a ton of great options. I find that they're very easy to understand what the products are. They don't have weird product names. It's just very straightforward, very simple. You know exactly what you're getting, and they just make quality towels. And I also need to give a shout out to them because I just bought their brand new Liquidator Color Burst towels. By the way, Liquidator, best drying towel on the planet. Their new Color Burst towels, they are, you know, a different color. They had some issues with the dyeing process. I purchased one of the first sets of them, and they actually completely refunded me because they said they were about 20% less absorbent than what they expected. So that to me is a big, big deal. I'm gonna put the rag company in amazing category because again, I think they need to work on their coating applicators. Next, we're moving on to Clean by Pan, the organizers. Probably one of the most controversial brands on the internet when it comes to car detailing products. Now, I will tell you, I've used a lot of Pan's products and I haven't fallen in love with them. And what I mean by that is most of the products I've used are good, but I find better alternatives out there. I think some of them are maybe slightly overpriced. The car shampoo is kind of like okay to me. I think there's better stuff out there. You know, the spray polish, I'm not a huge spray polish guy. It's just some of the products I think are okay. Now comes to the point though, Clean by Pan's 8-year ceramic coating, blown away with. I think he honestly has the best ceramic coating on the market. I've used it on my personal cars, used it on customers' vehicles. It's a product that can go on pretty much everything from gloss paint to matte paint to satin paint to PPF to vinyl to plastic trim, grills, glass, wheels, everything. I think that is by far and away the highlight of the brand. And I also really appreciate using his panel prep spray. I think it is very, very strong and gets everything off with one simple wipe. You're not having to go back over it. Something that I rely on and trust. But because most of the products, I would say like, I guess at this point, what, 80 to 85% of the products, I really only use 2 of his products are, you know, what I would say below or maybe just average for me. I think I'm going to put Clean by Pan at good, and I'm probably going to put it slightly above Adams just because I really, really like his coating there. Moving on now to Nasiol. Now, Nasiol is a product line I've started to get into a little bit more. I've played around with some of their ceramic coatings. They seem pretty darn awesome to me. Everything that I've used from Nasiol has been just very good. Their trim coating is really interesting, and what actually drew me to the brand, it's a very low price point, and it's really interesting because it's actually a self-leveling trim coating, which is kind of rare. Trim coatings are one of those, man, they are very hard to make. And, you know, even some of these companies up here, Gyeon especially has a trim coating I absolutely hate using, but Nasiol stuff seems to be pretty darn good. I think I'm just going to put them right in the good category. Probably put them slightly above Atoms. I think they're a little bit more on the professional side. But yeah, some of their products seem to be pretty awesome. Moving on now to Yum Cars. This is part of, you know, the House of Rags group. I'll be honest, I haven't tried a single product from Yum Cars. I've heard a ton of great things about them. Just some of their products, I just haven't, you know, gone out of my way to try. Maybe that's something I need to do. Maybe you guys should let me know. So I'm just gonna leave that in the haven't tried category. Next, moving on to Quivr by I'm Josh V. Josh is a great content creator here on YouTube, and sadly, again, this is a product line I have not tried. I really need to try his stuff. I really, really like Josh. I had the opportunity to meet him at SEMA. He's just a phenomenal dude, super chill. He's just a great, personable person, and I think the world of Josh. So, unfortunately, haven't tried. Would love to try his Quivr brand. Really excited to play around with his stuff when I actually do try it. Moving on to Chem X now. Now Chem X is a really interesting brand because they started, I guess Bob really started from the, you know, larger truck space, like washing semis and things like that. So he comes up with some very unique chemicals. The first chemicals that I was introduced to Chem X was actually Stars and Stripes, which is a really interesting, almost completely touchless washing setup where you basically have your stars that you put on. I don't remember which one is the acidic one and the acid one, but you basically foam that on and then foam on the other one. So, and you neutralize it and it kind of shocks it. The stuff is absolutely incredible. I've tried some other products from Chem X, you know, snake oil being one of them that I was just like super underwhelmed with. And the other thing was weird there is they had like different dilution ratios on the actual package than they had on the actual label. And if I remember right, that was also different from their website. So that was a little weird for me. I think I'm going to put Chem X in, yeah, let's put them in the good category because Stars and Stripes was actually really impressive. I think I'm going to put them under Atoms because I think Atoms probably has quite a few more products that I would personally use over Chem X stuff, but I think Bob's a great dude, and I actually love watching his videos on YouTube, and he does some really, really fun tests. Moving on now to Labocosmetica. Man, this is a really impressive brand. I use quite a few of their products, and one of the biggest ones, Labocosmetica Primus 2.0, which is an alkaline-based pre-wash, and I absolutely love this stuff. Now, this is something you can use in a foam cannon, you can use it in an IK sprayer. It's really, really impressive. And I also forgot their acidic shampoo. I believe it's Purifica. Yeah, I have it here. The one thing with Labocosmetica is it's so hard to tell what product is what. So I'll get them in like a 1 liter canister and I'm always looking, I'm like, okay, which one's which? Just because they all look absolutely identical, don't stick out to me. But man, they've got some really nice products and I've been really impressed with everything I've used. I want to try more and more of their line, but every single product I've used has been like well above average. I am going to struggle to put them in the good category because I haven't tried anything from them that I don't like. I honestly think they're going to go in amazing category for me, and I need to try more and more of their line, so that might come down as I try more products, but overall really, really impressed with that brand. Moving on now to Stoner Car Care. I know a lot of you love this brand out there, specifically Invisible Glass. I have never been impressed with Invisible Glass. I have my own way that I clean glass, and actually going back to Atoms, Brilliant Glaze, the best thing ever to use on the inside of your glass. Stuff is absolutely incredible. But Stoner, yeah, I think this is a product line I could completely live without, and I have for many, many years. I think their tar and remover is probably their best product for me. I honestly, I'm going to probably put them average. I don't think they're anything more than that. Let me know if you disagree with that. Moving on now to Dr. Beasley's. Really interesting brand. And this is a brand, in my personal opinion, that almost tries a little bit too hard to be different, especially with their NSP stuff, which is their nano something polymer polish situation. I have tried to wrap my head around a lot of their products and I use them and I'm like, I've given them feedback. We've been back and forth. I'm just like, I understand what you guys are trying to do and making these super cool products that have all these properties, but like if they're not simple, approachable, easy for even a professional to do, and the funny thing is they'll tell me, well, if you're a professional, they can actually be harder. I don't really have any interest in that. So for me, Dr. Beasley's is really going to go in the matte category. And you know, some of their matte coatings I've heard good things about. I think there's better stuff out there. Again, I'd rather put Clean by Pan's 8-year coating on a matte painted vehicle. I think it's going to last a little bit longer. So that's where Dr. Beasley's has landed. Meguiar's. Now, Meguiar's really interesting company because I have used quite a bit of their products when it comes to compounds, polishes, and pads, and that's it. Well, I do say that. I've used some of their Pro line car shampoos. The Shampoo Plus I've been using for many, many years until I got that pressure washer up there that needs a super concentrated soap. I'd say Meguiar's is nothing more than average, and I think their entire product line, I think there's better products out there. Again, some of the highlights for me, some of their compounds, M110, M210, going back to the days of M105, 205, phenomenal compounds and polishes. They have some of the best cutting pads out there for microfibers. It's what I use every single day, but I think the rest of their line just brings it down for me. Nothing is that interesting to me, nothing's that intriguing, nothing that revolutionary. So I think they are going to go just straight into average category. Next, moving on now to Bilt Hamber. This is a really cool company, and every single product I've tried from them been pretty blown away with. I haven't been through their entire product line, very similar to Labocosmetica, but man, Bilt Hamber Touchless, really impressive product. And Bilt Hamber Traceless, almost arguably one of the most impressive products I've ever used. If you haven't used Traceless on glass, holy cow, it is unbelievable. Now, I like Traceless, I don't love it, but it is just insane what that product can do. And having the super wetting agents on there, basically almost impossible to get streaks on your glass. Really cool stuff. Bilt Hamber Touchless is an incredible pre-wash that is basically getting 95% of the dirt and grime off your vehicle before you ever even go and touch it. But I will say something like Touchless, their panel impact ratios, it's not super approachable. It's a little bit more challenging to use than something like Premise 2.0 in a super high flow pressure washer. Just blow through a ton of product. So I am going to put Bilt Hamber in amazing, and I am going to put it above Labocosmetica. I think I would just in general, the products that I've used from Bilt Hamber, really impressive. Auto Wheel, again, being another one that is just a phenomenal product. And yeah, that's where Bilt Hamber sits in amazing. Moving on now to 3D Car Care. So 3D Car Care sits in an interesting one right next to P&S, I would say, which is actually right after this. And I feel like they make really great in general products. Like the whole line is just good from what I have tried. There's a few products that I'm not like super, you know, impressed with. Their leather care, I don't remember exactly what, it was a leather cleaner. It just like smelled way too much like leather. If you know that smell, it just didn't smell good. But a lot of their products that I've tested are actually really great. I know a lot of you like a lot of their compounds and polishes. I played with them a little bit. They're not my like utmost favorites, but I would say this is just overall a good product line. So I'm going to put 3D Car Care right below Adams here, right in front of Chem X. I think they're overall a very good overall line. Moving on now to P&S. P&S is a super impressive product line. I think, again, across the board, very great products. I will say with their products, one of the best things about them, they're very heavily dilutable, and they're also very inexpensive, which is actually surprising for how well they work. So you'll see a lot of mobile detailers, a lot of professionals like myself use a lot of their products. Do I think they are the best products overall? No. So I think I'm going to put them in the good category right above 3D Car Care. Honestly, I'm going to put them in front of Adams because I use more P&S products than I do Adams, and yeah, I think they're pretty awesome. Express Interior Cleaner, one of my favorites. Their carpet cleaning setup that you don't need an extractor, really impressive from them. So yeah, very good from me there for P&S. Moving on to Optimum. Now Optimum, yeah, What do I want to say about this? So obviously one of their biggest products, their rinseless wash. I've played with OptiCoat in the past, underwhelmed by it. I've played with their polishes. I actually like Hyper Polish. I've been using it more and more recently. It's actually pretty decent. It's not my favorite polish in the world. Yeah, I mean, Optimum, I have like 2 products from them. I've got, you know, their rinseless wash that I think there's better ones out there. I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to put Optimum above Dr. Beasley's, but I'm also going to put it, you know, I think I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put them in average because I know a lot of you guys really like their rinseless wash, but I'm going to put it back here. I also think Meguiar's, while I'm at this, I'm going to put probably at the forefront of this. Why can't I switch those? There we go. Meguiar's is the highest of C class there. All right, so moving on from Optimum, let's go to CarPro. CarPro, I actually started using a ton of their products, and I still use quite a few of their products to this day. CarPro erasers, great, phenomenal panel prep spray. They make the best tire dressing on the planet, in my personal opinion. CarPro Pearl. I dilute it down either 1 to 3, 1 to 5. Absolutely love their stuff. I think in general, CarPro just hits the marks on pretty much everything. Every one of their products I've used, I've been blown away with. Their branding's phenomenal. Their packaging is phenomenal. I think they make fantastic products. Where I think they are lacking a little bit right now is in their ceramic coating world. You know, they kind of started years and years ago. C-Quartz UK 3.0 was like the biggest thing ever, and it is still the same exact product to this day. And this Kia EV6 sitting right next to me has C-Quartz UK in our, you know, full coating test. I think I have 17 different ceramic coatings on this car, and I am like very underwhelmed with that coating. So I think I'm going to put CarPro above Gyeon. It's going to be at the top of good here. Great products overall. I just think they need to really up their game when it comes to coatings. And this is a product line in general that I guess you could say they don't really iterate a lot. So compared to something like Adams, which constant iterations of products, CarPro is just like, this stuff's good, we're just gonna keep it like that. Like, how long has CarPro Reset been around? Forever. Chemical guys, wow, this is a funny one. Yeah, that's just gonna go immediately in F category. Now this is gonna go at the top of F category because I actually make one product I think is actually pretty decent, and that is their gel water spot remover. That stuff has gotten me out of some serious pinches, but the rest of their line, I have zero interest in playing around with. Way too many SKUs, way too many different just scents and this and that. I just underwhelmed by pretty much every single one of their products. Not something for a professional detail shop, and I think there's better products out there just in general. Detail Co., this is another House of Rags company. I have not tried a single one of their products. I don't necessarily think they're made for me. I kind of feel like Detail Co., I've looked at their products, I see the prices and they seem reasonable. This seems like a line to me that is just like overall average. I hear people talk about it here and there, but it doesn't ever seem to be like, wow, this is the best stuff out there. I kind of think of like maybe a mobile detailer using a lot of Detail Co. products. They're, you know, heavily dilutable, easy to use, very affordable. I'll probably get around to trying it. It's not like high on my list of, hey, I need to try this right now. But yeah, definitely something to keep in there. Griots Garage. I don't use a single product from Griots other than now their foam cannons. This has always been a product line to me that has been absolutely nothing more than average. I think every single product I've tried from them, something else is better. So I think they are just gonna go straight into the average category. I think they're definitely above Optimum. I'm gonna put them above Sonax. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine. Some of those doesn't necessarily matter. This one, I don't even need to explain. Straight to run away from. Ammo NYC, Larry Costello, one of the biggest YouTubers when it comes to the detailing space ever. I have grown up watching Larry for years and watching and learning off of the YouTube Academy. Funny enough, that's really what started my passion into detailing and really helped me progress as a detailer. So it's just really fun full circle moment when I learned a lot of my things from watching YouTube, and now I'm here producing YouTube content for you guys to tell you what I've learned over the years, how I detail things. This is a product line I have not tried at all. And pretty much why is I think they're quite expensive. And honestly, you pay for a lot of shipping. The products are expensive in general. I wish I could support Larry in that, but like, I also think there's amazing products out there. I'll get around to trying his stuff at some point, but have not tried yet. Gtechniq, interesting brand here. I know a lot of you love Gtechniq stuff, and I gotta say I'm just average, like very average on them. Honestly, a lot of their stuff to me goes in the meh category. I just really, every single product I try, I'm just like, yeah, there's something way better out there. I've just never like had this great connection to their brand. I used to use a lot of Crystal Serum Light XO-V4 at the time. Had some coating failures. On the coating test on this, I gotta say I'm kind of underwhelmed with the performance. I'm pointing at my EV6 over here. I think, guys, I'm gonna put Gtechniq in very average. I really, honestly, I don't use a single product from them at all anymore. I hate to put them in meh because I know a lot of you guys like them. So I think they're gonna go average. I think they probably deserve to be at the top of average. I'm gonna put them right above Meguiar's because yeah, they definitely make better products than Meguiar's for sure. All right, guys, next up we've got Armour Detail Supply. I gotta say, looking at this entire list, this is one that I think I'm the most impressed by. So Armour Detail Supply started by Bradley and DJ, actual professional detailers that just wanted to create products that they could use and love to use and then kind of share it with the world. These are all made in the US here, and I'm just really impressed by this brand. What they have done and the quality of products that they put out, they're really doing something awesome there. And I think what's great about this company is they're constantly iterating in a good way. It's every single time I use one of their products, I'm just like, damn, this stuff's awesome. And the craziest thing about this brand is I kind of overlooked them for many, many years. And I actually met them at SEMA 2025 and we had some conversations and I was like, I can't believe I've never tried your stuff. I hear nothing but amazing things about ADS, and they sent me out one of every single one of their products. And gotta tell you what, all but I would say one or two I was completely blown away with. I would say the best products they make, their iron removing wheel cleaner and their just overall iron remover, incredible. Their tire cleaner is amazing. Going back to the iron removers, they have figured out a way to make iron removers not smell like complete rotten eggs, and I love using these products. So I hope nothing but the best for these guys. Their coatings are really, really impressive. I can't wait to see how they do on this coating test long term, but these guys absolutely deserve to be in top of the top. Amazing here. I'm gonna put them above Koch Chemie. Gotta move them right there. They're freaking awesome. The only reason they are not in S tier, I do think their car shampoo needs a little bit of work. It's not my favorite out there. Ghost isn't my necessarily their favorite. I'm not a big solvent tire dressing guy. I know that's a small critical knock on them. And then beads, I would say I prefer Gyeon Wet Coat over. So those are the three products I'm kind of iffy. Everything else, well done, guys. Well done. DIY Detail. So Ivan is a guy that I've watched for many, many years on YouTube. I think they make very across the board good products. In my personal opinion, they don't make products that for me are in exceptional category. I personally don't think they are up there with Koch Chemie, ADS, Bilt Hamber, Labocosmetica, or even on the most of it, CarPro and Gyeon. So I think I'm gonna put DIY Detail right in good category. I'm gonna put them below Adams. Now, I do think there are some highlights from their product line. Incredible Suds Type 2 is a really, really phenomenal pH neutral shampoo. Very concentrated, but it's also very expensive. So that is some of the drawbacks on some of their stuff. They are all very concentrated, but when you would initially look at them, it's like, wow, it's a lot of money. I would say there are certain products in their lineup that I've tried that I've been like, yeah, I just kind of think there's better stuff out there. but it's an overall just very good across the board line that a lot of their products hit some very, very good benchmarks, if you will. Turtle Wax, I'm just going to put right in meh. I've heard they've made some decent stuff. I know they've been kind of improving. I think they're like, you know, slightly better than a lot of the, what I'll just call like gas station trash. You know, you go to O'Reilly Auto to get detailing supplies. I just feel like they're like just that much above it. So I'm going to put them in meh category. Mothers, Runaway, none of their stuff has ever been that interesting to me. Buff and Shine here, they make a lot of pads. I've tried their pads in the past, and I just got to be honest, these are straight meh category. I'll put them at, you know, higher than the rest of them there. Yeah, I've just never loved their pads. I don't know how to say it any better than that. Lake Country, on the other hand, I have like 1 or 2 of their pads, but their whole line to me is very confusing. Again, they're just very meh pads to me. So I think I'm going to put them average. I'll put them above Optimum there. Flex polishers, interesting one. This is always hotly debated. Flex between Rupes. I'm a Rupes guy, so for me, Flex is going to go average. Rupes. This is a tricky one. I want to put them in good. I'm definitely going to put them in good. The reason I'm going to put them in good, I think as of recent, they have just been like releasing polishers just to release a polisher and make more money. And the annoying thing is they just keep adding power and nobody's asking for more power on their machines. I typically am running like, you know, their 21 millimeter throws, you know, the big boy polishers at like a speed 3, a speed 4. And like, I've got plenty of rotation. I don't need more. I think their battery line has been pretty bad, to be honest. The iBrid, the, you know, 1-inch polisher, the first generation, absolute crap. Their 3-inch polisher that came out, I don't remember if it's the LHR or HLR, whatever the electric one, absolute junk product. But I like a lot of their corded polishers. They're, you know, great for that. Their compounds, yeah, I think they deserve to be in good category. I'm still waiting on like just unbelievable, exceptional polishers. Like I know some of you will probably say like Mirka out there, which isn't in this list. I can't buy a Mirka because they don't have trigger lock. Like that's just ridiculous. Not made for detailers. So not into that. Lastly, here we've got 2 different towel brands. So Autofiber. You guys heard me say I am basically strictly only a rag company guy, and that is true except for coating applicators. Autofiber makes some of the best coating applicators. I've tried some of their towels. I just very much struggle with a lot of their product line, knowing what's what, which to grab. I think they make very good stuff overall, so I think I'm going to put them at the top of good here. And yeah, I think I'm happy with that because I would definitely say rag companies above Autofiber in general. I want to play around with more of their line, but yeah, overall, very, very good. The House of Rags. So specifically talking about, you know, House of Rags, towels and things like that. Now, I actually have a shipment of these upstairs. I'll tell you the first thing about these, I have not used any of them. I have opened up some of them and I'm just like kind of scratching my head on them. The naming structure, like a Diva towel, this towel, that towel, like I don't need all the fluff and marketing and all that stuff. I just like want to know what this towel is going to do for me. Is this your great drying towel? What's the GSM on this? What's that? I don't need all the fluff and mess with that. So I'm going to just put that in haven't tried. You'll probably see a review coming soon here. But I think that is our tier list. And the big thing you'll notice here, guys, nothing in S tier. And I think that is just fully true. I don't think there is a perfect product line out there. There is not a single company, if you guys look through my cabinets here, that I only use all of their products. If there was, they'd be in S tier and everything else would be below it. So I really hope to see some of those amazing can move up to exceptional. Again, I think like Armour Detail Supply is right on the bleeding edge of that. Just few of their products need some tweaking for me to be like S tier. This is the best of the best. But I think across the board, I'm pretty happy with this list. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure there's going to be products and product lines that I missed in here. Let me know what you think of my rankings. Too critical, too harsh, not critical enough. Where would you rank things and where did I go wrong? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in another one soon. Bye-bye.